You know how to run, you know how to execute each station, but you're still missing that one thing to make you an elite level Hyrox athlete. I'm going to be giving you 6 exercises to make you a better Hyrox athlete. Let's get into it. Hyrox is a sport where athletes have crazy lactate thresholds, immense buffering capacity, and crazy aerobic levels of fitness, and of course, incredible mindsets to push through each station and run. The athleticism required for compromised runs and power endurance in the sport of Hyrox are incredible. And we got to remember that we can all train for it given the right training program to your strengths, your weaknesses, and your genetics. And strength is extremely important when we want to develop that athletic prowess. That's going to lead to better lactate threshold, faster runs, and less fatigue. And through strength training, we can also develop something called elasticity, which will help you minimize the risk of injury. So we want to strength train in a way that's going to help us develop particular strength qualities needed in the sport of Hyrox, but we also want to strength train a little bit more sport specific that's going to help us improve in those situational demands in the sport of Hyrox, such as those stations. Even if you're not trying to be a competitive elite level Hyrox athlete, we still want to be fit, we still want to be able to run fast, because over the long term, it's going to help us with our overall health and well-being. We don't just want to look good, look lean like bodybuilders and not be able to run well and move well and be healthy. Hyrox athletes are asked to run a lot, but that's not the only thing they need to be able to do. So if we think about the qualities that are needed within the sport of Hyrox, we know that they need a good level of what's called rate of force development. They have to be able to run, then transition through stations, push, pull, throw things, burpee, broad jump, move their body weight through open space efficiently and repeatedly. We also know they need power endurance. After every single run they do, they need to be able to go and produce repeat power on each station. They also need classical endurance. That's a key characteristic of the sport, 60 plus minutes and for some 90 plus minutes. It's a very long event, so they need to have some level of baseline cardiovascular fitness. So they need to do some type of cardio. It's a key to their success. However, they're going to get a lot of cardio done outside of the gym, down at the track, out on the road with their running Hyrox sport specific work. So if we look at simple cardiovascular work, LSD work, we're looking at 60 plus minutes, 1 to 3 times a month. That could be once every 7 days, once every 14 days, a long run to accumulate the cardiovascular aerobic benefits. Now, I think 1 of those a week is enough. However, some of you may need more if you're very unfit. If we're looking at speed improvements, we should probably be doing these once or twice a week. It could be hill sprints, 1, 2, 400-meter repeats, ski erg intervals, rower intervals, such as that. Now, on a weekly basis, 2 to 3 strength training sessions a week is perfect alongside that cardiovascular LSD work. That's perfect. So we've covered some of those general characteristics. Let's move more into those sport-specific characteristics. They're going to need what I call global athleticism, okay? So they're going to be doing a lot of compromised running, stopping, starting, getting into these low body angles for burpee broad jumps and pushing sleds. So they're going to need this agility and ability to move their body weight through open space repeatedly and efficiently. They're also going to need power endurance, where they're running at full tilt, having to decelerate, slow down, push and pull sleds, and repeatedly produce bouts of power. And they're also going to need absolute strength so that they can back up the amount of force required to run fast and push heavy sleds. But in reality, that absolute strength isn't as important as developing that global athleticism and that rate of force development. Now, before we start getting personal bests in these competitions, I'm going to be giving away 1 free 6-week conditioning plan. If you want to enter, all you have to do is comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and make sure that all notifications are switched on. Let's get back into the exercises. What's it like being unable to run after pushing that heavy arse sled and then having to pull that heavy arse sled again and then going back out for another run? One of those exercises that we can use to run fast, decelerate, absorb that energy, push that heavy sled, pull that heavy sled, go again, is going to take us into the single leg realm. And that's where we have to accelerate heavy weight off one leg and then be able to be explosive. Remember guys, when you're pushing and pulling those sleds, even running to a degree, you are on one leg. You have to be able to utilize strength and power and force off one leg. Let's get into that first exercise. The B stance trap bar deadlift. So this trap bar is a center of mass bar, which means the weight of the bar, the mass is in line with my center of mass. It's going to take the pressure off the lower back and distribute more across the legs. Have a look at the feet. This B stance, really cool position for athleticism. Go down, grab the bar, down with control, boom, boom, change legs. 3, 2, 1, touch, boom. 3, 2, 1, touch, boom. We're trying to resist that bar pulling us down fast, pulling us forward, pulling us backwards. So we have to be able to eccentrically go down slow and then pop back up off that one leg. The B stance is incredible. It's going to take the pressure off the lower back. It's going to load up that front leg, but we also are working that stability. That will have an incredible transfer to running fast and sled pushes. You can do 6 sets of 3 on each leg at around 85%, or if you're in the off season, far away from your competition, 5, 6, up to 8 reps on each leg. That's going to improve your ability to run faster, push that sled, pull that sled. Actually, it's going to help your whole Hyrox. Make sure you're using some decent heavy weight, okay? Because you're in that top quarter, top half position of a squat. It's a very, very strong position. Don't be afraid. Load it up, lift some weight. The cool thing about this B stance is that it gives you the ability to activate more of that front leg, the glute and the quad. Really important when you're trying to maximize speed and power. And because the trap bar is that short range of motion and it's not too axial loading on the spine like a squat or a heavy deadlift will be, it's gonna create less fatigue so you can tolerate more volume, more reps, more work over the whole week. To be an elite level Hyrox athlete, you don't need to be able to squat a house and be crazy strong, but this next exercise is gonna help your leg strength and help you improve your running speed. So when we're doing strength-based work for Hyrox, we have to think about how can we improve our power endurance? How can we improve our trunk control, our stability? How can we improve our ability to run on fatigue legs repeatedly? And that's gonna bring us to the Bulgarian split squat jump. If we do something like this, 3 reps, change legs. Every single 30 seconds for 12 minutes. That's 6 reps. 3 in each leg, every 30 seconds for 12 minutes. That's gonna help us improve our power endurance. It's really gonna transfer well to sled pushes, sled pulls, burpee broad jumps, lunges, wall balls, every single station in your Hyrox. Because you're only doing 3 reps on each leg every 30 seconds for 12 minutes, you're not gonna build up lactic acid in the legs, okay? So that's how you develop those fast twitch muscle fibers, that power, the repeat ability to produce power without getting into lactate, okay? That's the key, without the buildup of lactic acid. So we don't need to use a ton of weight on that, okay? Week 1, start at body weight. Week 2, add 5%. Week 3, 10%, go a little bit heavier. If I did those, I'd probably do 4 or 5 kilos here, or a couple of kilos in each hand, and that's it. Because it's about speed, it's about power, and not building up too much lactic acid. And like I said, we're trying to recruit fast twitch muscle fibers. You have to move fast. Fast down, fast back up, okay? If it's too slow, it's not training the purpose that we are trying to train it for. If you can't move fast, then that's a little bit too advanced for you. Maybe just stick to more simple methods, right? Like walking lunges, Bulgarian split squats, those sort of exercises. Now, I recommend doing these on lower body day or on whole body day. If you want to do them closer to your competition, that's fantastic because you're developing that power near your peak, near your competition. If you're far away from competition, you can do more reps. You can do less rest periods. You could just do Bulgarian split squats. And that's going to help you with your power endurance. What's the point in training your upper body for Hyrox when you don't even use your arms that much in Hyrox? This is where training the upper body in a unique fashion is going to allow you to have transfer to your Hyrox races. Ski erg, lots of upper body, lats, triceps. Obviously, farmer carries, grip strength, upper postural strength. For wall balls, we know there's a big demand on the shoulders. Regardless if you're using your legs more than your shoulders, you still need a lot of endurance. This is a great exercise to integrate it all. You're gonna build back strength, arm strength, core strength, and hip flexor strength, which can help you with your running. Pull-ups. You're gonna need a foam roller in between your knees. We're gonna keep your knees up at parallel to the ground as we do our pull-ups. It's gonna engage our core and our hip flexors. Great for sprinting fast and improving trunk stability. So, they're harder than they look. Down slowly, up fast. 3 reps, I can feel all that engaged a lot. So having that foam roller in between your knees is gonna train your groins and your hip flexors and all of that core. And it's gonna make the exercise just way, way harder. So you can train specific exercises like this in a specific, unique way that can have a fantastic transfer to Hyrox performance. Whether you're a beginner Hyrox athlete or you're a seasoned pro. If you're looking for coaching, online coaching, let me know. Fill out the application form below. We can run through a call, have a chat, see if we're a good fit, and I can help show you how a plan will come together to help you become a better athlete for Hyrox. So remember, one of the key ways to improve your upper body strength for Hyrox, that's gonna include a sort of unique exercise. You're gonna train your core, your groin, your hip flexors, is an exercise like that with a pull-up. Definitely give that a crack because that will really, really help transfer well to Hyrox performance. When are the hamstrings ever used in Hyrox? during running. Accessory movements target specific joints to generate mechanical tension, helping optimize movement patterns that are critical for sport performance. So let's take running as an example. The hamstrings do two things. The first thing they do is they slow us down. They decelerate the body once the foot contacts the floor. The second thing they do is propel us into that next stride, right? They pull us forward into acceleration. And those hamstrings have two main functions. The first one is to extend the hip this way, and the second one is to bend and flex the knee this way. By using a slider and doing hamstring curls, we can work on both of those hamstring functions at the same time, which will help running speed. Here's the progression in order. So start with a 2-leg eccentric only, then progress into a single leg eccentric only, then a 2-legged eccentric to concentric, then finish off with 1-legged eccentric to concentric. By using the hamstring slider with the leg curl, we can target the hamstring through knee flexion, but also by keeping the hip up, we work on that hip extension. That's going to be critical for your running technique, your speed, and injury prevention. You could do 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps and progress it accordingly. And like I said, that hamstring slider will do a fantastic job at making you run faster, but it will also help reduce the risk of injury to the Achilles, to the knees, the hamstrings, and the lower back. It's going to build lower back resilience and strength. I know you're probably wondering when we're going to work on joint stability and the elements that enhance it. But first, let's consider why the hip joint is designed to move in multiple planes of motion. The hip is a very complex structure. It has a lot of muscles, tendons, connective tissues crossing the whole area, right? And everybody's hip socket is a little bit different. When you're fatigued, when you're running on one leg compromised, pushing heavy things, pulling heavy things, those hips are going to get pulled in directions that they not want to go in, and it's going to stress the lower back, it's going to stress the knees and all those joint structures. So it's really important that when we train, we don't just keep working in this straight up and down movement or this forward movement. It's important that we work laterally as well. In Hyrox, we don't have to move multi-directional to the side, laterally. Like I said earlier, global athleticism. We want to be able to be a good global athlete. We've got to be able to manage our body weight side to side, and that's where this next exercise comes into play. So the lateral lunge is a great accessory movement to add into your toolbox. It enhances the stability and strength of the entire hip complex. Many athletes skip what they think are complex exercises, but unfortunately, they're just limiting their overall performance. 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps on each side, and you're good to go. If there was only a way to train rapid, fast, posterior chain exercises, well, there is. When we focus on posterior chain training, it's really important that we focus on building lower back control and lower back strength. How can we teach our bodies to apply a large amount of force in a complex movement, absorb the energy, then redirect that energy, that force? We need an exercise that can help develop those instinctive reactions. And this is where that next exercise comes into play. The banded kettlebell swing. First, we want to make sure that we swing the bell correctly. We stand on the band, right? The band is going to act to pull us down fast as the bell comes high. When we swing, we drag it back, we pop it up with the hips. You can see there, if I take the band off, we're trying to use the posterior chain, the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back, the core. We ain't pulling with the arms. Imagine I've got the kettlebell here. As I pop the hips, the band is creating tension and it's pulling me down fast. So it's what we call an overspeed eccentric. Similar to what we're doing over there with the Bulgarian split squat jumps, but the band acts as a speed to the movement, which is going to develop your posterior chain strength, your posterior chain power, way more effectively than just kettlebell swings. So that will really help your global athleticism. It's going to allow you to move faster, be more coordinated, be more powerful. Remember, power isn't just about the muscles, the tendons, the connective tissues. It's about the brain. To be powerful, you have to train powerfully. This will develop repeat power. 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 reps, really, really explosive, really, really fast, long rest periods, and repeat. So with that banded kettlebell swing, you want to start light and over time, develop the weight, develop the power, develop the speed. You don't need much band tension. There, I'm using a small to medium sized band. Easy. It's enough resistance to pull you down fast. It's about power with the hips. That is a fantastic exercise to use as you get closer to your competition, when you're trying to peak and prime your power and your nervous system. When you're further away from competition, maybe just do regular kettlebell swings and regular posterior chain work where there's more time of the tension. Good mornings, Romanian deadlifts, B stance trap bar deadlift, fantastic, but better to use when you're further away from your competition. That will really help you develop power endurance. Hyrox athletes, incorporate each of these exercises into your strength routine to enhance muscle efficiency and global athleticism. If you'd like support with your programming and your training, reach out. There's an application form in the description below. Fill it out, book a call, and let's see if we're a good fit. Thanks for watching the video and see you on the next one.